Welcome to Q&A with Qlik. Today we're going to be talking about Qlik Talend Cloud data integration. I just want to quickly introduce myself. My name's Troy Rainey. I help put together webinars and videos like this one. We've got a great expert panel for you today. I'll just quickly go around the room and let everyone introduce themselves. Ben, why don't we start with you?
Sure. Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a principal critical support engineer at Qlik. I've been covering or I've been working on QCDI for, I guess, the past year now, learning about all the features it comes with and helping some of our higher end customers deal with their critical issues.
Awesome. Bill, how about you?
Bill Steinagel, Principal Critical Support Engineer. I work with the gateway piece. The gateway piece is the kind of the core runtime engine for some of the data source endpoints that you're going to connect to or set up in your Qlik Cloud.
Great. And Shashi?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Shashi. I work as Principal Critical Support Engineer. I've been supporting Replicate and Compose on-prem tools, and then I've been involved with the cloud offering from about the time when it was introduced. Yeah, I have some experience in that. Yeah.
Great. Well, when you registered, you had an opportunity to submit any questions ahead of time, and we're going to address a few of those first. First question. As a previous Talend QCDI customer, I'm not sure which Qlik Cloud products are included in my contract. Which one needs an additional payments? Well, we're more on the technical side in this panel, so I really recommend you address or reach out to your account manager for any licensing questions. I had brought up a page, or I tried to find it ahead of time, and then I lost it. There's a page here that kind of breaks down the differences of the tiers between standard, starter, standard, premium, enterprise. But I realize that doesn't quite apply to the question, but it is a helpful link, so I'll just share that with you. And next question. How to load JSON files from a database with a single field. Ben, did you want to take a shot at that one?
Yeah, I'll take that. So this question is a little bit broad, so I'll address it as I understand it. So, if you have a JSON, if you have a field in your database that contains JSON, we do support that. Depends on the database, of course. I think Postgres would be a big one in this case. So we do support that. There's nothing special you would have to do besides selecting those tables. There are some challenges you could come up with if it's a very large, if it's a very large record. For replicate tasks, you can control the lob size that the task will handle. So if you need to increase that, you can go ahead and do so. You can always reference our documentation that'll list out the supported data types for particular connections. And then also the way I believe the JSON will be replicated also depends on the target. So making sure that the target, your warehouse or lake house, whatever it is, how it supports it. So you would read up on how that particular warehouse takes in JSON, how it lays will format it and everything. But for the most part, yes, JSON is a supported field.
That's great. I think that hopefully addresses the main concern that it is supported and that it pretty much works the way most other connections do. Okay, next question. And this one was again a little vague, but is it necessary to change tables manually?
So yeah, I think necessary does seem to be doing a lot of work here. So necessary, no. Of course, it really depends on what you're facing. I mean, if you set up your pipeline, there's actually one of the things you can do is if you have like certain pattern of a naming convention, like let's say all of your tables start with Qlik underscore, then you can actually just you can set it in the task to taken all tables with that naming convention. So if you ever add tables to your source, then it'll automatically be picked up in the task. So you don't have to do anything there. As far as, but if you need to edit things, set up, change, it really depends on the use case, I would say, beyond that.
Yeah.
So I would never say it's necessary, but it's obviously supported. And then yes, there are ways to make it so that there's minimal manual effort involved.
Yeah. I find that's a real advantage with the offering is that so many things are automated. Okay, next question. How does Qlik Talend Cloud data integration handle very large data sets? I suppose it's debatable what is very large to this person, but
Mhm.
Shashi?
So by that question, I am assuming when we say very large data sets, it might mean a table with a lot of columns and many string columns with 2000 bytes or more. So yeah, I mean, we can, it depends on the source, like whether you use your data gateway or you want the replicate, I mean, the cloud engine to provide a gateway for you, and also depends on your tier, the license tier, whether you're on a starter, enterprise, or that. So depending on that, we will have sufficient capacity in your server, and yeah, based on that, we can handle it efficiently. It all depends on the, yeah.
Great. Next question. Can SAP data be extracted for change data capture?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So yeah, so with the SAP data sources, it just depends on what type you're going to use, depending on the objects / table types in SAP. If they're going to be like an extractor, we have an extractor data source that you could set up, and then you have the SAP ODP, and then there's also the OData, which is similar to the ODP endpoint, but you just always got to remember it depends on the type of data that you're pulling from the SAP environment. And that usually requires your SAP admin to make that information available, because each endpoint has different setup requirements on the SAP server. So you might have to install transports on SAP. But like with ODP, you wouldn't have to, and OData, you wouldn't have to. And then there's also the SAP extractor, which also requires a transport to get installed on SAP. So whenever using the SAP endpoints, it's a requirement, obviously, on the SAP side, because if your source isn't set up, your QTC is not going to work very well. So, but yes, it's definitely supported.
Yeah, and you did a Techspert talk really just focusing on SAP connections,
Yes,
right?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yep, that one. Yep. Yeah, I think there's a. I think we set up a data
6
source
months
as well
ago.
in SAP as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll post a link to this because if people
Yep,
want to
that's the
see
one.
that demonstrated, that
Yep.
it was a great session. All
Yeah,
right.
and this was actually a great session because I did go into some of the ODBC installation requirements on the gateway server. Like you have to install some of the SAP required software under the prerequisites,
Mhm.
and just like anything else, any of the data source that you're going to access, there's your prerequisites. And as far as the gateway goes, that's where all the connectivity to some of the data sources, not all, but they're the required data sources that you're going to access through the gateway. You would definitely need the ODBC software installed, because that's going to be your communication engine. So, yep.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. Thanks.
Yep. Yep.
All right, next question. How to extract data to a lake house in Microsoft Fabric? First of all, that is supported, right?
That is supported, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything complicated about that or different?
I mean, yeah, I would just say, I mean, it's just like any connection. You set it up, and then you would set up in your pipeline or replication project as your target. I'm not aware of anything special about it beyond what the specifics would be for setting up Fabric specifically. And we have documentation on that as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, if you want to see how to create projects and pipelines, and there was a recent Techspert Talks from Alain Penal about this, and he demonstrated a lot. I'll just post that recording as well. Great, and thank you. Next question. Is 32-bit ODBC connection with data gateway on the roadmap? So the current connections are 64-bit, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously 64 bits. The addressability of the memory is higher than 32-bit. But as far as the gateway goes, and the core engine, as far as the gateway, everything's 64-bit. ODBC requirement.
Okay. So nothing we're aware of as being on the roadmap then. Yeah.
No.
All right. That's fair. Okay. Next question. How to hand code data flow? And data flow is kind of like the no code way of creating pipelines, right? So is there like an API that's available for that, perhaps?
So yeah,
So hand code. I mean, there are three. I mean, it's mostly on the transformations. I mean, this.
Okay.
I mean, the recording that you're sharing, Troy, might cover that on the
Yeah, that's
transformation
true.
part. Like, yeah, we have three ways to do it. Either we can write the codes, we can build our own SQL, or we can use a pipeline. We can use all the objects within the pipeline and build the code, or you can take help of the AI. So there are three ways to do it. So, I mean, it all depends on you. How comfortable are you to write the code, or whether you want help with that? So it all depends on that.
Great, thanks. All right. All right, next question. I'm going to start a replication project from Oracle. Can we read data from redo log and also archive log?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that was easy. So yes, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, the data source set up the panel, and Stacy, you or Ben can correct me. So the same access method, depending on the database and where your archive log files are, and then via ASM as well.
Nice. All right, next question. Can we set up a connection to read data from Google Sheets?
Yes, actually, we do have a Google Sheets connector. It is a preview connector though, which just means it doesn't have full functionality of your typical connector, but it is there. I would say my guess is some of the lack of full functionality is that it's probably not going to be doing real-time replication right now, and I'm fairly sure that it also doesn't support incremental replication because of changes a couple months back to the Google Sheets API that doesn't make the metadata available. So it will do it's effectively a full replication each time the task runs. But you do have it.
On a personal note, I use it, so I know it works. Great. Next question. Can you explain about the difference between data moved by Qlik Talend Cloud and data moved by third party in the Qlik Talend Cloud? It's a good question.
Yeah. So data moved by QTC would be if you have a replication project or a data pipeline with landing. So anything that we have to extract from your source and move via the Qlik Cloud to your landing schema, that would be data moved by QTC. And data moved by third party is like with a pipeline, you have an option to register data. Register data in the sense like you have your database, everything, all the data is set in your database, but you want to extract from your database and build your storage and transformation, that would be like third party. That's what we consider as third party.
That was very clear. Thanks. Great. Next question. Our Qlik Cloud Analytics and Qlik Talend Cloud tenants are on different regions. The manual says lineage will not work. Can you elaborate, please? Do you guys familiar with this? My understanding is that there's a lot of cloud features and functionality that are enabled when you have them on the same region. And that's kind of a prerequisite that if you don't have them on the same region, it makes it difficult for the two to communicate. And especially if you're moving to a capacity license where you're only using the data that you need, it is a requirement that they be on the same region. So um, I don't know if there's anything more you guys want to talk about with that. I just have been in a few meetings talking about helping new customers get enabled, and I realize like that is a requirement when it comes to capacity.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then there's a whole lot of AI, and lineage is one of the features, and a lot of cool things that become available if you just have them on the same region. So if that's a problem, maybe you can reach out to your account manager and see if we can figure out a better solution for you. So maybe you can have both tenant types in two different regions, perhaps, as a solution. All right. Next question about replication. When we start a replication from a source database like Oracle, Postgres, MySQL, or SQL Server, database starts to generate some logs. What happens with this logs when we read it? Do we have to delete it manually or is it automatically deleted? It's a fair question.
So Bill, do you want to take it?
Yeah, and I'm going to add this to the chat, so you can add that for me, Troy.
Sure.
So those logs are they're a little different accessibility comparable to replicate, the legacy replicate tool. But the link I shared with Troy, that'll give you some more in-depth detail.
Did you hit send or enter? Because I'm
yeah,
not seeing anything.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry about that. Troy, there you go. Yeah. So if you want to get some more information about the server logs and the actual tasks, that's the link for the gateway log files.
Great.
And that would go into cleanup and all the other detail that's needed.
But I know sometimes people who are just kind of getting used to Qlik Cloud data integration, they're a little concerned about storage. Do they need to be concerned about the size of logs and storage of logs, that kind of thing?
Oh, sure. Just like the replicate legacy environment, the different levels of logging. Usually we don't keep logging on unless it's required from an actual support case that you're working. And then some of the actual cleanup stuff is available within the environment under the administrative for the gateway server.
All right. Cool. Thanks.
Yep.
All right. Next question. Can the Qlik Sense scripts be migrated to Talend, or will we have to start from scratch? Well, that's a good question. If you've got a bunch of scripts on the analytics side, I mean, Qlik Sense is all about analytics. Those can totally be migrated to Qlik Talend Cloud because the cloud, you've got two sides of it. You've got the data integration side and the analytics side, and both sides work with scripts. So absolutely, you don't need to start from scratch. You can migrate your Qlik Sense scripts over and shouldn't be a problem at all. All right. Next question. Oh, this attendee's got a lot of questions, so I'll take them one at a time. How would the technical infrastructure be set up if I want to access local data? Would that be the gateway? Or I know there's two different gateways and it gets confusing. One's direct access and one's
Yeah,
the data
correct.
movement.
Right.
Which one would you
And
use for local files?
and there was a link that I shared, and then let me just make sure I have it. The gateway setting up, and when the gateway is required. Yeah. So
This one, troubleshooting data movement gateway?
no. I said
Okay.
it. You just grab that for me again.
Thanks.
It's on. Yeah. I sent it to the wrong. Yeah. Let me get. There you go. Yeah, so back to what Troy was mentioning, there's a direct access and the data movement gateway. So the requirements, if it, depending on your source or on-prem, that link that I shared, those are the if depending on this data source, that's the requirements that you would have to use the gateway instead of the direct access. So two different methods.
Okay. Next question there. What is the difference between Remote Engine Gen 1 and Gen 2?
Yeah, I think this is more of Talend.
Yeah, I think that's TM
The Talend Studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
on
next
Talend side, so the Talend Cloud is still currently, for most part of it, it's still separate. It's not part of the Qlik Talend Cloud. But with Qlik Talend Cloud, we have this, as Bill mentioned, we have that data movement gateway or the direct access gateway for analytics. But if you're, for the next question, like where can I build my workflows in the cloud? So if it is specifically for Talend, that would still be in the Talend Studio, and then you can migrate to Talend Cloud, as is what you're doing now. But if it is on the Qlik Talend side, then the workflow we basically call as transformations. Then we have the transformation pipeline where we can build it. Or you can also use that automation tool that we have, and we can build that there.
Yeah, so you have a lot of options available to you, actually. But yeah, it's certainly a little bit confusing when you have Qlik Talend Cloud and Qlik Talend Cloud data integration. Almost the same name, but different products. But they do a lot of the same stuff. So it's certainly a lot of options, but a little confusing when discussing the whole product line. All right, moving on to the next question. What's next for data extraction with Talend from SAP regarding ODATA and RFC? I'm not familiar with those acronyms.
Yeah, that's me. When you set up, so like we were talking about earlier, depending on this the SAP and the endpoint or the data source you set up, ODP, that's RFC calls on the actual SAP server. So yeah, but everything it's done through the endpoint server on the gateway server from the gateway server. It's like an internal component via the JDBC connection.
Okay. So are you expecting any developments with that functionality?
No. So ODP from SAP, it was kind of discontinued.
Okay.
Not discontinued, meaning it's something that's not
being developed more
preferable as far as support. So Qlik came out with the OData connector, which is fully supported by SAP. So and that goes back to the point, Troy, that we were talking there. We do have dependencies on the SAP source system, depending on which data source type that you set up. So the actual source, the different components have to be installed and configured properly to pull the data.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yep.
Next question. Will the new Open Lakehouse functionality for ingest data in an iceberg data lakehouse and manage it be available for data lakehouse in MinIO on-premise? I'm not sure what MinIO on-premise is.
I haven't heard anything about that. I'm not sure if if it's on the roadmap or not.
Okay. Well, now it's a good opportunity to bring up when things aren't quite certain. On Qlik Community, there's a great area called forums, and they're all divided up by topics, but here it's a good opportunity to engage with the 250 plus thousand members of Qlik Community and maybe post your question here and see if we might get a response there because we have a lot of people who are engaged with the product and Qlik employees as well that manage this and are very active in the community. So sorry we don't have a better answer for that at the moment. And if it's a functionality that you're missing, there's another section under support called ideation. And here is where you can review suggestions for improvement or feature requests to the product and even suggest your own. You can upvote ideas that already exist. And if you don't see anything that's exactly what you're requesting, you can submit your own feature requests. And here's a link to learn how to do that, suggestions and features. I'll put
Yeah, and Troy, just to add a comment for the ideation,
Mhm.
when you as the customer create that ideation, throughout that process, there is updates and you are notified. So that was a big improvement that was added. So
Yeah, and
this,
our product management team definitely weighs customer input heavily when it comes to deciding what fixes or what improvements to make and what features to add. So please get engaged with that forum. All right, next question. What is the minimum time to refresh a QVD file in Qlik Cloud that was generated by a QTC pipeline that captures a QTC data from Oracle and generates the QVD? Is 30 minutes the minimum amount of time for refresh? So the target is a QVD and the source is Oracle.
Yeah, QVT would take the regular time what it takes currently in analytics, right? I don't think it makes a difference whether it is from QTC pipeline or whether it's a QVT that's generated outside that. It should be the same. I don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, I don't know the QVT side of things, like on the analytics. Like, Troy, do you know like how much time it takes currently?
I mean, no, but I know that in that recent Techspert talk, we he showed off creating a pipeline that had
Hmm.
preparing data for analytics,
Hmm.
where the target was a QVD. I just see if we can see that
So
setting when it comes
just
up.
reading from the documentation, I don't see like specific like minimum limit, but it seems to be depend on how like whatever you schedule both the task for and the the app itself, how frequently it'll be reloaded. So
Okay.
I think I'm not sure if the app itself has a minimum of 30 minutes, so that would be the minimum then. But if you can go lower than that, if it allows you to, then presumably you can go lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, by default, 30 minutes is the minimum that we offer with any licensing tier.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Next question. I see a few things slipping into the chat, and I apologize. I'm having trouble keeping an eye on that. So if you have any questions, please, if you could repost them in the Q&A tool, I'll be sure to address them. Next question. Can you please advise the best way to leverage Qlik Talend Studio or Qlik Talend Cloud to ingest Sharepoint Excel files and store the data in Snowflake? So that's both of those are certainly supported, right?
Yeah, SharePoint files are
Support.
supported. We have an endpoint to get the data from SharePoint. But the question is stored data in Snowflake. The SharePoint connector that we have is all on the analytics. If you want to use the data and build Qlik answers or Qlik analytics side of it. But if you want to store that to Snowflake, on the data integration side, I don't think we can consume anything from SharePoint files and move it to Snowflake. That might
Really?
be an ideation. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I thought that we could. So please, yeah, we should raise that if it's not already there, we should definitely raise that in ideation. All right, next question. Can we use the iceberg parquet format by landing the data on Google Cloud Platform cloud storage or only on Amazon S3?
Yeah, Google Cloud, S3, and also Azure Data Lake are supported.
Oh, great.
Let's try the link for that as well.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
follow-up was the next question to Open Lakehouse.
Yeah, currently the Open Lakehouse, it's not GA yet. I think that would be GA next month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Open Lakehouse currently is only on S3,
Yeah.
not on other platforms, but we have roadmap to build it on other platforms too.
Great. Yeah, I know that's very new. All right. Next question. Is there a way to read the logs of transformation tasks via API? Well,
That's a good question.
that is a good question. Here is on Qlik Dev, you can see a lot of information about our APIs. I'll just post a link there. Oh, did you find something, Bill?
Yeah, that was for the I think the previous question about the Talend Cloud APIs. That was the link for the ones that
Okay,
were available.
I'll post that and I'll go back to Qlik
Oh wait,
Dev.
the logs. Wait, do we have logs for transformation tasks? No, right?
No.
So I would say no. I mean, if there's, I'm not sure what the reference is for logs for like, you mean like a replication task, but for transformation tasks, as of now, I think since we don't even have them available, it's probably not gonna, you can't get them by the API either.
So the transformation that you currently build is on the data that you already replicated to your storage, right? So we just read the tables from there, and then do a push down SQL for everything. So currently with the Qlik Talend Cloud, I mean, if you're looking for the logs, like with all the similar to that replication logs, we currently don't have that. There are the events that fire in the background, like we have APIs to get those events. Yeah, but not with this REST APIs. I mean, we cannot control or do anything with that. It's just that to show like what all events we fired in the background. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. These are great
And
questions. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Jory. I shared that that link for the transformations. If they wanted to get more information, I think there's a like you could do command line or text, but that's different for transferring data. So.
All right. Yeah. So this
That
is
might help.
documentation all about transformations
Yep.
and creating a transformation task. Great. If you have any other questions, please submit them. These have been great questions today. I'm going to start to scroll through the chat to see if we addressed anything. There was some follow-up feedback. Or maybe someone actually trying to answer. So there's a comment here, Gen 1, because there was a question about the difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2. We got some information. Gen 1 allows you to run Talend Studio jobs, and Gen 2 allows you to run Talend Cloud processes, as in data preparation.
So I think with all this, so Qlik Talend Cloud and Talend Studio are still Talend is still a separate product, right?
Yeah.
We haven't completely merged everything from Talend to Qlik Talend Cloud. So I think so. The follow up, right? The Steven else, like if he follow up on all his things, is mostly on the Talend side of things, not particularly on Qlik Talend Cloud. So that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fair.
Yeah.
I guess we don't have any.
Yeah, back to what Seshi brought up about the difference, like two separate products, obviously. But the Talent Studio, that's still a huge requirement, for the data model and the setup and configuration. And then that's what's, shared with the cloud. But the actual setup with Studio is totally separate currently.
Yeah. There's a comment here to expand on the MinIO question. Is there any way to use S3 compatible APIs like MinIO for landing or staging buckets?
Yeah, currently we don't have any APIs on the Lakehouse. I mean, once it is GA, we might have everything, but currently it's still in development, so nothing is released to to all the customers yet. So yeah, we can put in an ideation on that one as well.
And there's an additional follow-up. MinIO just provides the file bucket functionality exactly like AWS S3 and uses the same API, but allows you to self-host rather than use AWS. Okay. And another comment, Talend Studio can do Sharepoint to Snowflake, but it's quite involved because of authentication. Yeah, Sharepoint.
Yeah, it's on the Talend side.
All right. And we got one last question coming in. How do you recommend to treat Ralph Kimball's degenerated dimension in the Data Mart feature of the pipeline, order dimension? Anyone want to address that?
Yeah, wouldn't be my area. Maybe something we could get back.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. I apologize, we don't have a great response to that one. Perhaps posting the question in the forum on Qlik Community might get you some helpful information. But yeah, I'm not familiar with that detail about the order dimension in Data Marts. Sorry about that. Well, again, thank you, everyone. Thank you to this expert panel. We really appreciate all your questions and hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.